Yeah.
Good evening, Raider fans. It's a cold and gloomy night here in Aurora, Colorado. But why be gloomy when we're here at Luke Kellogg Stadium for our first playoff matchup of the year? Regis Jesuit Raiders taking on the the Cherokee Trail Cougars tonight. My name's Sam Stern, and I'm so glad to be with you tonight. First playoff game of the year for the winter sports. We're getting you started off with some girls basketball. It's already beginning to be a packed house as usual. The girls lure in a big crowd as usual. Tonight we're in the boys' gym, as I mentioned, Luke Kellogg Stadium. Normally we're in the girls' gym, but tonight is 2023 new freshman night, and they're here in support of our girls basketball team, and it should be some packed stands for that, but we're excited to have them here, and congrats on becoming new Raiders. Again, I'm glad to be with you. Sam Stern, Patrick Carlson, our lead producer as usual, doing a phenomenal job tonight. As we also have Jack Mann on our camera, we're glad to have him. And then Angela Sirwal-Marfo, our social media coordinator, is in charge of social media tonight. She'll be on Instagram and Twitter doing Raider Sports and RJ Media. So make sure to check on her updates and check on her social media. She does an amazing job as usual, so make sure to tune in. I'm going to start off on the Regis side as we count down till the national anthem and tip-off. I'm going to start off here. Regis Jesuit's coached by Coach Maddie, and boy, he has done a phenomenal job this year. Overall 20-3 record in the league, 9-1, and that 20-3 record, only one of those losses was against a Colorado team. It was against Highlands Ranch, and that was our last game of the season. It was at Highlands Ranch, and you talk about a team in Highlands Ranch that can ball out. They have players, point guard, shooting guard, small forwards, starting, coming off the bench. They are a deep team that have quite a bit of talent, and that was an impressive game. Autumn Loss was their leading scorer with 20, and you talk about someone, she's going to the University of Nevada. She was quite the player at that center position, athletic. She could take it inside, and best part about it, she covered Fran like nobody I had ever seen in her tenure on this team. Very impressive play by Autumn Loss. But back to the positive highlights for our Regis Jesuit Raiders. We got a first-round bye. We played great in the regular season. Second in state behind Highlands Ranch, the team we lost to. Last regular season game of the season. Leading scorers in players, Fran Believe, you know I'm going to be talking about her quite a bit tonight. Francesca is averaging 22 points per game, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and yes, 2 blocks. when you talk about a human highlight reel, you cannot mention a better player than Francesca Bellibi. She has been amazing thus far. So we are glad to have her. Avery Van Sickle, our shooting guard, she has been really our main ball handler with Jada Moore. She's been very impressive. She's averaging 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. So she's a very impressive player. And then her backcourt mate, Jada Moore, 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. So you talk about a trio that can not only score offensively, but they can play very well defensively with 2 steals, 3 steals, and 2 steals as their averages. So we're very excited to have her. And back to Francesca Bellibi. She's a McDonald's All-American. She and Sydney Wygand as well were nominated, but Francesca Bellibi was the only one out of the state of Colorado to make it, and we're excited to have her representing not only the state of Colorado, but our great high school in Regis Jesuit. A couple other things about Fran. I'm sorry, it's just I was looking at the stats, people, and you got to look at Max Preps and look at her stats for the season. I can tell you all I want about the way she's played this season. You have to see it to believe it. I have never seen in my career of broadcasting and journalism a girl who can play this well on both ends of the floor. She could tear it up on both ends. She's confident. She has had 1 triple-double this season. A triple-double in high school, if you don't already know this, is amazing at this level. And this was the triple-double. You're probably going to think I'm crazy. I am telling the truth. 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 steals, people. That was against Douglas County in an 85-38 win. If those numbers don't make you fall out of your chair and faint, I don't know what does, because I was on the verge of tears when I saw that. Amazing what she's done this season. She's had games with 35, 32, 29, 24, 20. She has scored in double digits every single game during the regular season. So let me tell you, with this first game of the playoffs, we are going to have a great run, not only by the Raiders, but you watch out for the Franimal in transition. Not only will she put some points and boards on you, she might even throw down a dunk on your head. So watch out. Now on to CT, Cherokee Trail Cougars. They're coached by Coach State Wright, a great coach. Overall 12-12, not their best season. They've never been great. Their girls basketball team has never been awesome in the state, but this year they were hoping to get something to go, but luckily they couldn't get anything against teams like the Raiders and Highlands Ranch and some of these really talented teams. In the league they were 6-8, which compared to the Raiders 9-1, that's a big difference, and talent-wise it's definitely a big difference. But leading scorers, their three main players, their trio, all 3 juniors, so they have another year, and they're talented. Their point guard, Michaela Hemingway, 14 points per game, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block. She does everything on the floor. The biggest thing is her steals. She's great defensively. She's 5'11" point guard, very talented. She can run the floor. She's a shooter, and she's a talented player. Dominique Rodriguez, 11 points per game, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals, so she's talented as well. And then Destiny Pock, 10 points per game, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. So you're looking at a matchup against two trios, my apologies, where Jada Moore, Avery Van Sickle, and Francesca are going to have to match up with Hemingway, Rodriguez, and Pock. We're so excited to be with you tonight. Again, Patrick Carlson, Jack Mann, Angela Surwa-Marfo. My name's Sam Stern. We're so happy for you to be with us tonight for a great start to our fun-filled weekend full of playoff sports. Again, Sam Stern. We'll see you after the national anthem to tell you about the starting lineups. Thank you so much. Welcome back, Raider Sports Network. We're back with you as we're meeting our teams in the words of Michael Manoogian, our house speaker tonight. He's amazing. First starter for Cherokee Trail, Olivia Lee, the sophomore, with Andre Villegas, the sophomore as well. Sierra Colbreth also starting. She's a freshman. Abby Pareg, the senior. And Atoria Thomas. So again, Cherokee Trail, a talented team. They know how to play. They're more of a defensive-minded team than offense. They are only shooting 32% from the field. So you talk about a team who does not strike you as an offensive threat. 33% field goal, 53 points per game, 10 assists, 14 steals, 2 blocks, 18 turnovers, which is way higher than the Raiders. 26% three-point field goal, which is way lower than the Raiders. Raiders pride themselves on three, both boys and girls. 62% free throw, which equals our average, and then a 37% two-point average. Regis Jesuit Raiders time. I'm glad to be here. Madden McHugh. She's a freshman, but let me tell you, she is shifty as all get out coming off the bench, and when she gets her minutes, she is feisty on the offensive end. Grace Wigan, also coming off the bench. She's very talented as well. Sister of Sydney Wigan, who will be attending the U.S. Naval Academy, or West Point is what I meant to say, my apologies, as our McDonald's All-American Francesca Belibi comes on, as she just received her McDonald's All-American jersey with Coach Maddie. This starting lineup, people, one of the top 3 lineups in the state and one of the best lineups in the nation. And here's Jada Moore, our talented point guard. You talk about shifty. She has every handle in the book that you can possibly think of. In the words of Michael Manoogian, let's play some basketball. We're excited to be with you. Francesca, Sydney, Jada, Grace, and Avery are going to be your starters tonight. We're excited to be with you. Grace Wigan starting tonight, which is different. Sam Jones is usually our starting small forward. She's talented. She can defend. Not as much of a shooting threat, but defensively and in the paint, she's very talented. So we're excited to have her coming off the bench. She's going to give us great depth. But the big story is having 2 sisters starting tonight. Sydney and Grace, they come from a very athletic family. Grace playing field hockey, basketball, of course, and women's lacrosse. And Sydney Wigan, she will be attending, as I mentioned, West Point Academy for lacrosse, but she is a very good basketball player. She was elected a McDonald's All-American, but didn't make it with the rest of the nominees nationally. But to even be nominated is quite the accomplishment, to say the least. So we're excited to be with you. Francesca Belibi and number 30, Yolanda Faison, are going to tip it off. Fran has the height advantage, and she wins that tip easily, and we're ready to play some Raider basketball. Jada Moore working up top. Shifty point guard, averaging 10 points per game with the Raiders and 4 assists. Jada Moore working up top to the corner. Back up top. Cherokee Trail electing to work the zone. 2-3 zone. Raiders can break it. Avery Van Sickle inside to Fran. That's their main play. Fran fake to the outside, take it all the way. Got it in there, almost toilet balled out of there. Let's see what the ref says. Let's see what the ref says here. Ooh, just went silent. It looks like Grace Wigan's going to check back in immediately. I think she just needed to ask a couple questions about the game plan. But she's on the floor. Sister, as I mentioned, of Sydney. And we're up 2-0 to start this game with 7:32. We're glad you're tuning in with us here on the Raider Sports Network. Sam Stern with Patrick Carlson, Angela Surwa-Marfo, and Jack Mann doing a phenomenal job as usual. Cherokee Trail passing it around. They can pass it well. Going to the corner, that's Yolanda. Over to the side, almost stolen by Sydney Wigan. She's very strong, electing to trap in the middle. Back up top. That's number 3, Dominique Rodriguez. She is a scorer. She averages 12 points per game. I saw her pregame. She has a smooth jumper from mid-range and 3 points. Working up top. This is Michaela Hemingway, their leading scorer, 14 points per game. Taking it all the way. Get that nasty stuff out of here, Francesca Belibi. Starting off strong. 24, Angel Nayland taking it all the way. But no, ma'am. This is going to be Michaela Hemingway taking it out. Francesca Belibi getting her first block of the game. She averages 2 a game. She's talented. As I mentioned, and before I can even say that, Madden McHugh checking in with early minutes, and this is a rare sight. But you just watch, she is a fun and exciting player at that point guard position. Avery McHugh, she's undersized, she's a freshman, but she's very talented. Kicking it out to Nayland. Off on the jumper. Nice board by Yolanda. Work back up top to Hemingway. Hemingway working it across. Other side to Mia Collins. Back inside is stolen by Grace Wygand. Great defense from her. And it's Raider basketball. Great defense from Grace Wygand on that right side. As Avery Van Sickle checks back in. Coach Matty loves to sub in and out. He wants to make sure that his players are always on the same page at all times. Jada Moore on the left. Calling out a play with Hemingway up top. Again, it's a 2-3 zone. They're going to start with Hemingway and Collins up top. Jada Moore over the top to Avery Van Sickle. She's a sniper. Back into Fran. Give her 4. Francesca Belibi. She's the inside presence of them all as people are scrambling on the floor, but it gets back to Hemingway. Back over to Collins. Swinging it. Raiders electing to do a 3-2. Collins back to Hemingway. She's big for a point guard, as I mentioned. Over to Nayland, to the corner to Yolanda. Back up top. Rodriguez a 3. Too hard. Here's Hemingway up top. And it's going to be out on Sydney Wygand and Jada Moore, trapping her in the corner. Great defense from the Raiders. And you talk about a team in the Raiders. Defensively, they are always in sync. They have held teams to 20 and 30s multiple times this season. They are very talented. Deep 3 from Hemingway to get her started. That's a splash for Hemingway. Put her on the board for 3. And a quick timeout for Coach Matty. And you're talking about a player in Hemingway. She can stretch the floor. She's a tall and big point guard, but she can play very well. She's consistent. She's probably been the one bright spot in their starting lineup this whole season. Hemingway has been scoring it. She's been stealing it with 4 steals a game. She is a talented guard. And again, that trio I mentioned pregame with Rodriguez, Pock, and Hemingway, they're here for another 3 years. So that's very good if you're the Cherokee Trail Cougars to know that you have your 3 leading scorers and stars back next year. We're up 4-3. Coach Matty did not like the outside defense, though, as they were a little late to contest the jumper by Hemingway. Grace Wygand's going to get us started again. Up to Jada Moore. Jada Moore and Avery Van Sickle share the facilitating role, but Avery Van Sickle has done it a lot more lately as Grace Wygand fakes a 3. Back up top to Jada Moore. Back to Grace Wygand. She was making her 3s pregame. Up to Jada Moore. She can make them. And just a little off. Jada Moore is a scorer. You cannot leave her open. Normally she can make that shot on a consistent level. Hemingway is going to take this one, but instead McHugh's going to come in for Jada Moore. So McHugh getting a lot of rotation minutes to start. As I mentioned, it's different for her. She's not used to playing the substantial minutes that she's already seeing tonight. But I can tell you that she's ready for the occasion. For a freshman, she has the basketball abilities of a senior. As that's a turnover by Cherokee Trail. First one of the game. McHugh in transition. Over to Grace Wygand. Taking it against Hemingway. Oh, trying to go for the crossover, and Hemingway knocks it away. Again, you're talking about a player in Hemingway who averages 4 steals a game, so you cannot have a dribbling expedition in front of Hemingway. As Grace Wygand comes off for the Raiders. And Jada Moore checks right back in. Quick subbing, as I mentioned. Sydney Wygand. Far court to Fran, not an outside threat, she's getting there. And Hemingway is called for the foul, but let me tell you, I have watched a lot of girls this season against the Raiders. She has already been looking in the 4 minutes I've watched her to be the best defensive point guard I've seen at her position. She is phenomenal. You can tell that that's her knack, is defense and shooting. 3-and-D player. That's what I like. Jada Moore working it up top. Over to Avery Van Sickle, a deep three to get her started. Short, and Yolanda gets the board. Again, that's Yolanda Faison. Cherokee Trail's undersized. Collin takes a deep three, and it catches all air. Hit the sky on the way down. Jada Moore to the corner to Grace Wygand. They're trapping her immediately. And off Cherokee Trail, and they are trapping immediately as McHugh checks in once again for Grace Wygand. This is unbelievable, the amount of subbing that's already gone on. I've already gone off my sheet toweling it. Sydney Wygand trying to get it in. She gets it into Avery Van Sickle. Back to her. She's very strong. Inside to Fran, and it's knocked away by Nayland. Here comes Rodriguez. Crossover to the left, and it's hit off her. Great defense from the Raiders in transition. Rodriguez is a threat in transition, and that was great defense on her. Avery Van Sickle's gonna take this one out. Again, welcome to all of our viewers on YouTube and Twitter. We're excited to have you here on the Raider Sports Network. Avery Van Sickle to Sydney Wygand, a corner three. Short, and it's gonna be off of Cherokee Trail. So both teams a little rusty to start. They had about a week each to prepare for this game. And you can see the rust, kind of like coming back from the All-Star break for the NBA, is Francesca Bellibi loses it again to Cherokee Trail. Hemingway behind the back. She gets it back with Francesca's long arms in front of her. Inside to Nayland, pump fake. Out to Collins, a three. Tries banking it, and it's off. Jada Moore loses it to Rodriguez. Oh! That was about to be a nasty block, but she gets called for the slap. 2 shots for Rodriguez. Again, you're looking at a player in Rodriguez, 11 points per game, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. So another player that's been doing things on both the offensive and defensive end for this Cherokee Trail team. First free throw for Rodriguez is off. She has great form for a shooting guard, very impressive. They shoot free throws at 62%, which equals our average. Rodriguez, second free throw. She's number 3. Is up and no good. Francesca Bellibi the board. Here comes McHugh. She's really fast. McHugh in transition over to Sydney Wygand. She wants to get it back to McHugh. She's a sniper. Over to Grace Wygand. It's a high pass. Avery Van Sickle cross court. Sydney Wygand wide open. That's not good. That is not good. Sydney Wygand's a sniper from the left side. Put her on the board with 3. Great shot by Sydney Wygand. Rodriguez. Over to Hemingway, another deep 3. Little high and hard, and an over-the-back foul on Avery Van Sickle. Got a little too excited on that board, and it's gonna be Cherokee Trail ball with Hemingway underneath. Hemingway taking this one out underneath, over to a wide-open Rodriguez, but Van Sickle finds her. 2:42 left to go, 7-3, low scoring for the Raiders. Over to Hemingway, up top, great movement. Andrea Villegas checked in for Cherokee Trail just a second ago. Wide open, Yolanda in the corner, off, and here comes Avery Van Sickle. She has Francesca Bellibi on her left, high pass to Sydney Wygand, it's good. Great pass from Avery Van Sickle. She is a floor facilitator. Great play. Sydney Wygand with Hemingway. She wants to ISO. Yolanda Faison. Hemingway. Oh, it was a great move, but a little hard on the shot. Avery Van Sickle, look at that pass. Francesca Bellibi gets it knocked away. Great defense from Cherokee Trail. Here comes Rodriguez in transition, and she's fouled by Francesca. Rodriguez, you could tell it was not a comfortable foul, to say the least. And it should be 2 free throws if I'm not mistaken. Nope, they're going to call it on the floor, saying she hadn't gotten her shot off yet. And here comes Jada Moore back on the floor. Avery Van Sickle, as I mentioned pregame, not only is she an integral part of our shooting, but she can pass it very well. She is a floor facilitator. I keep mentioning it, but it's the truth. Hemingway aboard over Belibi. She's almost Belibi's height, and she's a point guard. Rodriguez, a deep, high-arcing 3, oh my gosh. It hit Saturn on the way down. Jada Moore is going to give this one to McHugh. She's going to give McHugh the point guard duties while she's in. It's a packed house, as you would expect. New Raider night. And, of course, our usual Raider stands. Busy, busy, busy. McHugh over to Jada Moore. She's shifty. Watch out for her. Sydney Wigan, another 3. Short. Belibi fights for the board, but it's taken by Hemingway. Minute 6 to go. Let's see what Hemingway can do. Working the dribble against Grace Wigand. Grace Wigand, she's very strong, 3-sport athlete. Rodriguez inside. Nice pass to Nayland. She misses the layup, and it's saved by Jada Moore. Great hustle. Jada Moore has Grace Wigand on her right. Likes to take it all the way. And it looked like it was off of Jada, I thought, but they're actually going to call it off of Cherokee Trail, which I'll take. Avery Van Sickle checking back in for McHugh. McHugh's been in and out and in and out. Francesca Belibi. She's going to be taking this one out. Talented player, McDonald's All-American. Jada Moore, they need to get it inside to Fran. And they call a foul on Cherokee Trail. They are all over Fran, just like that Highlands Ranch game. They are trapping her in the post, and that is their favorite play. When they get it on offense, they set screens so that they can clear the lane and the paint for Francesca Belibi. Sydney Wigand off the inbounds for 3. No good. Sydney Wigand's on the floor. And it's Cherokee Trail ball. Grace Wigand, that's the one thing you're getting with her. She may not put up big numbers point-wise, but I can tell you that defensively and loose balls-wise, she will be on the floor all the time. Hemingway immediately going to be trapped by Jada Moore. And Avery Van Sickle, jumper, partially blocked by Francesca Belibi. That was a jumper by Abby Pear. Here comes Jada Moore behind the, oh! Sent her on skates. Jada Moore working up top. She's at the logo. Grace Wigand, corner 3, pump fake. Avery, inside to Fran, one-handed, jumper, buzzer. So, defensively, both teams are getting at each other. 9-3, very low scoring for the Raiders. But it's been a fast, high-tempo game to start, and it's been fun to watch. End of the first quarter, 9-3. Again, we're excited to have you with us on our YouTube or Twitter pages. Make sure to follow us on RJ Media and Raider Sports Network on our Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat pages. They're fully functioning with our phenomenal, as usual, Angela Sorwa-Marfo, who heads up our social media pages. Thank you to her. And a shout out to my family in Texas, Marcy, Grandma Dixie, and all the rest of the family back in Texas and my parents at home. We're going to take a quick break here on the Raider Sports Network. Sam Stern, Patrick Carlson, Jack Mann will be back with you. Welcome back. Cherokee Trail is going to start off this one. Hemingway getting it into Rodriguez. Let's see what Rodriguez can do. She's 0 of 2 from the line, and 0 points to start. But she can go off at any point. She's had some 20-point games this season. Hemingway over to Rodriguez to the other side. A deep three. Pure and down. That was number 2, Andrea Villegas, getting her first bucket of the game to go. Deep three. Avery Van Sickle over the top to Jada Moore. She's 0 of 1 from the field to start. Avery Van Sickle over to Grace Wygant. She can make them. Little off, one-handed board. Fran, put back, no, again, yes! The Franimal getting on the boards, adding another 2 boards to her total quickly. Give her 6. Rodriguez working. Villegas. Great defense from Grace Wygant. One-handed jumper. Almost got it, and Francesca Bellivi says, I don't think so. Avery Van Sickle working in transition. Jumper in transition. Up and down. The sharpshooter getting her first 3 of the game. Put her on the board with 3. What a play. Avery Van Sickle stopping on a dime. She's averaging 12 points per game. She is a sharpshooter. Hemingway, 14 for Cherokee Trail. Trying to go bank. That's Nayland, but she misses. Avery Van Sickle coming back again. In and out dribble. Grace Wygant, corner jumper. She had it, but elects to get it to Avery Van Sickle. Inside, Fran, over to Jada. Great inside pass. She's not just a scorer. She's a facilitator in the middle. And that's a timeout for Cherokee Trail. 16-6 lead. Just like that, the Raiders gaining some momentum. 6:01 left to go in this game, and we're excited to be with you. We're going to take a quick break here on the Raider Sports Network. Things starting to go in the Raiders' way. Stay with us. Welcome back, Raider Sports Network. Hemingway immediately getting trapped by Jada Moore up top. Over to Rodriguez. Back to Hemingway. Number 44 for Cherokee Trail. Atoria Thomas was wide open in the corner for a little bit. Rodriguez, in and out dribble between the legs. Over to Nayland. Back to Rodriguez, over to Hemingway. She's a great floor facilitator up top. As I mentioned, she's big for her position. Deep three. Tried to bank it. A lot of bank shots, or potential bank shots, I should say, as that one should be Raider ball, and it is. Grace Wygant is going to give this one to Avery Van Sickle. Avery Van Sickle working it up top. She'll be commanding the point guard position right now with Jada Moore and Grace Wygant on her right. Grace Wygant to the corner for Jada Moore. She had the shot, but she's been off. And it's not just been tonight. She's been off the last couple games. But in the blink of an eye, she could start making shots. Nice passing by the Raiders. Sydney Wygant, Avery Van Sickle. Jada Moore, thought about it. Dribble, Fran. Oh, she almost got the N1, center to the line. So while we have the moment, Francesca Bellivi, she's a 6'1" center. Again, averages 22 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. She is the leader in double-doubles with 15 double-doubles this season. And as I mentioned, she's had 1 triple-double, which in the high school game for girls is unheard of. And it was 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 steals. Yes, you heard me right. Rodriguez working it up top as Francesca gets 1 to go. Great defense, and Francesca gets another board over the top to Jada Moore. A little far, but she saves it. Over inside, McHugh saves it. High floater, no good. McHugh fighting for it, and Hemingway gets it. She's talented. Rodriguez, corner 3. That is one of the highest shots I've ever seen. Flying down from the rafters. So it's going to be Raider ball. Francesca Believi communicating to McHugh what she wants play-wise. She's the leader, one of the captains with Sydney Wigand. Fran Believi gets the offense run through her just about every time down. She is their play every time. She is that monstrous in the paint. Sydney Wigand over to wide open McHugh. Off, and it's a board for Nayland. Nayland has a couple boards in the game, still yet to score, but she's a talented player. Here's Hemingway calling out a play up top. She has 1 basket, it's a deep 3-pointer. Rodriguez with 0, so 2 of their leading scorers not having great games to start, as that one. Gosh, I hope that didn't hit my family in Texas. That was so far off. Avery Van Sickle working it up top. McHugh on her right. She's a shooter. You cannot leave her open. She has Grace Wigand wide open. Elects to get it to Jada. Crosses over 2. Gets a scoop layup. Misses. Grace Wigand the offensive board. Avery Van Sickle. She has McHugh up top if she wants. Over to McHugh. Wide open 3. Off. Avery Van Sickle. Another offensive board. Grace Wigand. Blocked. Great block. That was 30. Yolanda Faison, their starting center, getting the block. That's her first block of the game, and she averages 1 a game. Sydney Wigand checking back in for McHugh. She's going to get a breather. She's been playing very well. She's getting her shots up. She's talented. Francesca Believi against the undersides, Hemingway. And that jump shot by Grace Wigand's no good. Great hustle by Grace Wigand. Oh, count that. Are you kidding me? Avery, the sniper Van Sickle for 3. She's a blaster with that arc. That's Jada Moore. Working up top against Hemingway. She's patient. 20-6 is the score with 2:50 left to go in the second quarter. Raiders defense has amped up. Here's Jada Moore. Staying up high defensively. Over to 44. That's Atoria Thomas. Stolen by Avery Van Sickle. Crosses over. Thomas. Transition. Jada Moore. Sydney Wigand. Avery Van Sickle. Almost got it. Francesca Believi fighting for it, and she gets it taken by Hemingway. She's working hard in the paint to rebound when she can. Still yet to get her second offensive board in the game. She averages 2 offensive boards a game. Great move by Nayland, but she does not take the shot. High floater from Hemingway. Off, and Jada Moore gets the board. Jada Moore coming in transition. She's coming fast. Euro step. Off. And that's Yolanda with the board. As Cherokee Trail thought that there was a slap of the wrist there for Jada Moore. She's feisty. She's a feisty defender, but that's what makes her so talented. Hemingway working up top. And her nice Paul Georges, one of my favorites. Rodriguez working up top against Grace Wigand, and that's out. Another turnover. That's the one thing about the Raiders. They can force turnovers really well. They are talented at that. And checking in for the game for Cherokee Trail 15, Mia Collins checking back in. And number 23, Abby Pear, the senior, is checking in as well, coming off the bench tonight. And let's see if she can provide a spark off the bench. She is a shooting threat. McHugh working. Oh, McHugh! Oh, sending a skate city on that one. Grace Wigand over to McHugh. Look at the passing. I mean, are you watching this? Fan one-handed. Oh my gosh, she just manhandled all 5 of their starters with one hand. Oh my gosh. Talk about weight room antics. What a play. Hemingway over the top. Working around a screen from Yolanda Faison. And great smart play from Hemingway as she hits it off of Grace Wigand with 44.3 seconds left to go, 22-6. Shout out to Armando Maldonado and Kylie Pendleton, our photographers, doing a great job tonight as usual. Check out their photography on rjmedianow.com or on RJTV. Hemingway trying to find somebody, and she finds Rodriguez. Still yet to score in this game. She's had a couple air balls. Quick crossover to the corner. Three-pointer, another air ball. High pass, Jada Moore. Nice pass, Grace Wigand. Jada Moore, nice pass, and she's fouled. And that was actually a great foul from Pear, as that was about to be a wide open, easiest layup of the year nominee. But she got it blocked and fouled. Jada Moore, while we have the time to talk about her, 10 points per game. She's a junior. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. She's done everything this season. Compared to last year, has not been as great offensively, but defensively, I would argue she's been better than last year. She guards the best guard on each opposing team every game. She's impressive. She's confident. She's amazing. Jada Moore, free throw. Second one's no good. Fran Bleeby, another board. Oh my gosh, look how high she just threw that up. Wow. It hit the rafters and came down. Here comes Jada Moore. Jada Moore working up top. Jada Moore over to Francesca Bleeby. She catches another one. She is on fire, people. You cannot stop her. She's 6'1", 200 pounds of pure muscle. Hemingway at the buzzer. Off the rim. 26-6. Raiders have been playing very well, and this is exciting to watch as they put up a great deal of points in that second quarter and are feeling really good about their chances. We're going to take a break here, 26-6, and we're going to come back to you, and we're going to play an RJTV episode for you. Enjoy, and stay with us.
To kick off this week, here's Caitlin Marshall and Skylar Kane with your weekly sports update.
What's up, Raiders? I'm Skylar Kane.
And I'm Caitlin Marshall. Welcome back to your weekly sports update.
Starting off with basketball, boys and girls are both headed off to playoffs. Boys with a home game versus Highlands Ranch tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Girls basketball plays tonight at home at 7 p.m. Come and support your Raiders.
Hockey heads off into playoffs tonight with an 18-1 record, ranked #1 in the state.
Game starts at 5:40 at Family Sports Center against Kent Denver. Be there.
Rugby plays tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Infinity Park in Glendale. This game is against East in a rematch of last year's state championship.
Wrestling had 5A state finals yesterday and will continue on tonight and tomorrow at the Pepsi Center.
And Antonio Segura is a returning state competitor.
Good luck, boys! Just a friendly reminder, spring sports are starting soon. Practice officially starts Monday. Make sure you have all your forms in and are ready for an amazing season. Hey Will, you forgot to talk about the father-daughter dance,
which is on March 3rd from 5:30 to 9:30 at the Mile High Stadium in the West Club.
The theme is Black and White. Check out the school's website for more information. It's open to all students.
But, seniors, share one last dance with your dad before you go off to college. Oh snap.
We're out of time.
I'm Skylar Kane.
And I'm Caitlin Marshall. See you next time with your weekly sports update.
Thanks, Caitlin and Skylar.
Now something new. Here's Sam Sika, Ethan O'Donnell, and Luke Gallen with the Freaky 40.
So here we got one of Regis Jesuit's finest here, professional intramural manager, internationally ranked chess player, also a great athlete. All right, and here we have Jackson Conley, another great athlete from Regis Jesuit.
The major thing with speed is all upper body. Well, I have pulled my hamstring. This morning. Probably didn't lift enough. Probably not enough stretches. My car didn't start this morning. Yeah. So I had a pretty rough morning. I don't think I was ready for all this action right at the beginning. But you know what? Jackson knows I'd smoke him any other day.
I mean, what's expected? Robert's like 5 foot tall. I could do that in my sleep.
Wow.
What can I say? Peace.
Hey Will, I bet you can't beat Jackson in a 40-yard dash.
Definitely not. There's a reason I don't play sports. He has an offer from UNC. I will. Don't.
February is Black History Month, where we celebrate Black history and bring awareness to the Black experience in America.
Here's RJTV reporters Haywan Yosef and Angela Luavano with a reminder in the words of the members of our community.
During Black History Month, we celebrate and honor the Black experience in America.
Who are we really?
There isn't really a definitive answer. We have a long history. Many of the African Americans you see in the daily life are the descendants of slaves brought here in the 1600s, but not all of us are.
Our freedom wasn't easy. People like Frederick Douglass and Madam C.J. Walker paved the way for future generations. Without the numerous inventions and services of Black people, the world would look drastically different.
But the world still continues to discount us from global conversations.
Black people face numerous injustices. The one getting the most attention in recent years is police brutality.
Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old boy who was shot by a police officer because he was playing in the park with a toy gun. The officer was not charged. The judge believed the officer did his job.
The Black Lives Matter movement gained traction in 2013. The Black Lives Matter movement was a response to multiple police killings of young Black men.
The point of Black Lives Matter movement is not to put Black lives above others. The movement just asks for Black lives to be held at the same value of white lives.
The movement has resulted in very positive changes in recognizing and fixing the internal problems within policing and the criminal justice system.
But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
Even through the numerous injustices we face, we continue to rise up.
The point of having Black History Month is not a gift from white people to Black people or to apologize for their actions.
It's meant to celebrate the hardships and achievements of Black people globally.
Even though Black History Month is 28 days out of 365, we have to be aware of what Black people go through and their accomplishments 365 days a year.
Hey Phil, dance. That was embarrassing. Not that I could have done any better. Chloe Valdez and Kylie Storch went around the school to see who's got the moves.
I'm Chloe.
And I'm Kylie.
And this is
the dancing challenge.
Can you please show me your best moonwalk? Hey, catch this. Can you show me your best nay-nay? Can you show me your best floss? Can you show me your best sprinkler? Can you show me your best stinky leg? Go. Can you show me your best floss? Can you show me your best shoot? This is my best dance move.
That'll do it for this week. I'm Will Monroe.
And I'm Philip Osek.
We'll see you next week.
And welcome back to the Raider Sports Network. Sam Stern with Patrick Carlson as our producer, great as usual, with Jack Mann on camera and Angela Surwa-Marfo doing social media for us tonight. She's done a phenomenal job as usual. We're glad to be with you tonight. We've had some highlight moments already from the Raiders. I think the biggest highlight is that we've held Cherokee Trail to 6 points in this game. That is unbelievable, but I say it's unbelievable, but it's starting to become normal for a team like the Raiders. So we're excited to come into the second half, and we're hoping, you never know, we average 64 points per game, and anything's possible when you have Francesca Belibi, Jada Moore, Sydney Wygand, Avery Van Sickle. The list could go on of all the different players on this team that provide. Leading scorer for the Raiders, 14 points per game, or 14 points this game for Francesca Belibi. She's been phenomenal. And before we start, I also want to give a shout out Marty Cesario with the Shasta Sports Network. They're covering it on NFHS tonight as well, and I was very happy to have trained with him last week against Highlands Ranch. He's a great commentator and a great person, so I'm very thankful for that opportunity. We're back with you, and we're excited to get started in the second half. Swinging it over to Rodriguez, working it on that left side, almost loses it to the long wingspan of the Franimal, Francesca Belibi. Working against Hemingway. They've played great defense against her. Ooh, Hemingway. Ooh, she almost got the end one. That was a little bit of sauce with that chicken as she crossed up Francesca Belibi. It's going to be on the floor, though. They're going to say that Francesca pushed her before the shot. Hemingway, wide open Rodriguez. First points of the game. You got it. First bucket of the game for Rodriguez. She averages 10 points per game. So she is a scorer if you leave her open. First basket of the game, 3 points. Jada Moore working it up top, trying to work over Sydney Wygand screen, doesn't use it, instead looks for Avery Van Sickle. And why not with the type of game she's having? Third three-pointer of the game for Avery Van Sickle. She's a sniper. Jada Moore working up top against Hemingway. Rodriguez working around another screen from Nayland. Handling it. She has a beautiful jump shot and has handles. Shows them there. She takes it all the way and scores for a second bucket of the game. Dominique Rodriguez. The shifty move and the take to the basket. What a play. Avery Van Sickle. Back from Sydney Wygand. Oh, what a fake. Sydney Wygand, a three. Short. Jada Moore on the board. Over to Avery Van Sickle. Fakes the pass. Over to Jada Moore in the corner. Far pass. Oh, wow. Looked like Tom Brady on that one. And that's going to be a quick timeout for Coach Matty as he wants to make sure we don't go crazy here. And just to let you know, a sports update coming to you live at the Family Sports Center. Boys hockey, they defeat Kent Denver in the second round of the playoffs for the Raiders, 4-0. So the Raiders will be heading to the next round, and we're very excited for them. They've had a great season, #1 again. They're looking to win a back-to-back title. Every year the hockey team never ceases to impress. So we're excited for them. 4-0, Raiders win. Thank you to Patrick for that update. Hemingway going to take this one out. 29-11 is the score. Raiders up with 6:21 left to go in the third quarter. We're excited to have you joining us here tonight, both on Twitter and YouTube tonight, and on social media. That's 15. Mia Collins working it back up top to Rodriguez, working around a screen from Nayland. Here comes Fran. Here comes the Franimal with one person ahead of her. And she gives it to Jada Moore, who misses the layup. Francesca the board. She has 3 people on her and almost got an and one. My goodness. 3 people hanging on her arms like she's a monkey gym, or a jungle gym as you would call it. And she almost got an and one. What else can't she do? She is an unworldly talent, is the only way I can describe her. She is a once-in-a-lifetime player, Francesca. Triple-doubles, double-doubles, McDonald's All-American, one of the best players in the state of Colorado, all-conference, as she gets 2 free throws to go. Grace Wigan with Rodriguez working the dribble. She almost finishes with the left. She's starting to get flaming hot as Sydney Wigan saves it on the ground. Avery Van Sickle over to McHugh. Gets the floater high, no good, but Grace Wigan's fighting for the board. And I think they're going to call a foul on Grace Wigan as she's a little upset on that one. Let's see what they do. Yep, it's going to be called on Grace Wigan. A little overly aggressive. As I mentioned earlier, she's a 3-sport athlete. Field hockey, lacrosse, and a basketball player. I actually wrote an article about her on Elevate Magazine and RJMediaNow.com. Make sure to look at that article. It describes how she's become a sensation, student and athlete sensation here at Regis. She comes from a very athletic family, as you can see with her sister Sydney being a multi-sport athlete as well. Hemingway up top against McHugh. She definitely has the size mismatch, to say the least. Gets the ball back. That's Hemingway. Over to Nayland, who finally tries a jumper. No good. Yolanda facing with no one on her when she boarded it. Rodriguez tries a deep 3. Oh my goodness, that was high. Francesca gets the board. No foul call. She gets right back up. Has to fix the goggles on the way back. Avery Van Sickle working up top. Over to Sydney Wigan. A corner 3. No good. She gets the offensive board. And she was looking for Francesca Belibi. Great idea from her and great hustle. And that's going to be a foul on Cherokee Trail. It's going to be on number 24, Angel Nayland. Thank you to Michael Manugian tonight, the House Speaker. He's been doing a phenomenal job all year. Good friend of mine. Sydney Wigan. Over to Avery Van Sickle. Short on the jumper, but Grace Wigan's there again. Over to Sydney. Back up to Avery. Fakes the jumper. Back to Sydney. Wide open. Off. And off of Francesca Belibi. That's unlucky too, but they're finding Sydney Wigan and they're finding people wide open. It's just a matter of making shots at this point. As number 5, Sierra Colbreth checks in for the first time tonight. She's checking in for Collins as she's getting a quick breather. She'll probably be back in very soon. Hemingway's played just about the entire game this far. She's their best player with Rodriguez. Colbreth thought about a shot. McHugh tries to steal it from Rodriguez. Wide open Colbreth. Pump fake. More like travel. And it's going to be Raider ball. So it's a 20-point game, 31-11. And it's going to be a timeout full timeout for Coach Matty and the Raiders. We're going to take a quick break with you here on the Raider Sports Network. Sam Stern, Patrick Carlson, Jack Mann. We'll be back with you. Welcome back to the Raider Sports Network. Sam Stern here on your call. Avery McHugh working up top. Calling out a play. She's a freshman point guard, number 3. Catches Sydney Wigan off guard, but she's able to receive it. Over to Grace Wigan, swinging it. McHugh's going to start back up top and be patient. Avery Van Sickle inside to Sydney Wigan. She has a wide open mid-range. Short. Fran working for the board, but can't get it. Sydney Wigan's off. She's missed her last 3 shots, but she's capable of making them at a high level. Yolanda looking to a wide open Hemingway. Off, and Grace Wigan gets the board. And she gets it over to McHugh. McHugh working up top with Hemingway on her. Tough guard for Hemingway. Avery Van Sickle working against Rodriguez. Talk about a marquee matchup there. 2 pure scores. Grace Wigan back up top to Avery Van Sickle, calling out a play. Francesca Belibi sets a great screen for Avery. Gets the offensive board, misses it, but McHugh gets it back. She's a hustler, let me tell you. Grace Wigan wanted to get it inside to Fran. It's been a little slow for her. She's trying to get her opportunities inside. She's the most lethal in the paint. Sydney Wigan over to Fran Belibi, who drop steps in the lane. Shimmy and shake to the basket. Francesca Belibi. Hemingway has a wide open Colbreth in the corner, but elects not to give it to her. And Hemingway tries a 3 off right, and Grace Wigan boards it, and she splits 2 defenders over to McHugh, crosses over 2. McHugh working around a screen from Sydney to the corner for Avery, back up to McHugh. Francesca Belibi calling for it against Faison. To the corner for Grace Wigan, a 3. Wow, that was high and off. So the Wigan sisters trying to get their rhythm. Rodriguez, a smooth, oh! What a Euro step move. Wow, Rodriguez, that would have made the Cherokee Trail section ooh and ah. Two free throws coming up for Dominique Rodriguez. Dominique averaging 11 points per game, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. So she is a scorer. She's a junior as well, as I mentioned. Hemingway, Rodriguez, and Pock are all 3 juniors. As number 45 for Cherokee Trail, Natalia Lou Pierre checks in for the first time tonight. So they're undersized. Both teams are going small ball. They have just about all guards, or not just about, their whole lineup is guards right now. This is going to be fun. McHugh, Van Sickle, Jada Moore, and East. Checking in for the second time tonight. McHugh over to East, working that right-hand dribble. Trying to look for Jada Moore, gets it to her. High pass to Jada Moore, over to McHugh. Thinks about a 3, crossover, floater. She is impressive. She faked 2 people, twice her height. Wow, she's impressive. Little bit about McHugh while she's at the line. She's averaging 2 points per game. When she gets her opportunities, she'll get a basket or two every now and then. But the one thing about her, she is a great bench presence. No matter if she's coming on the court or if she's on the bench, she always has a smile on her face and a positive attitude. When talking to Coach Maddie about her, he told me, you know, McHugh, I can't give her minutes all the time, but when she gets her minutes on the court, she never fails to amaze me with how positive she is. Even when she makes a mistake, she's always on to the next play, and it's amazing what she can do for her height. As Hemingway finishes with the right hand for her second basket of the game, give her 5. She's under her season average of 14 points per game. Again, she's the leading scorer. They're not a great scoring squad, averaging 53 points per game. Great pass from McHugh. Grace Wygand drop step, got it. As Grace Wygand tells McHugh, great play. Hemingway working it, takes a deep 3, misses it. East couldn't get the board from Colbreth, and there's a minute to go. Hemingway's gonna take her time. And it looks like there's gonna be a foul on Grace Wygand. Grace Wygand, I mentioned all the time, she's feisty, but she's a great floor presence on this team. She really can change the energy of a game quickly. As McHugh and Wygand check out, and Francesca and Sydney come back in, as both teams elect to go a little bit bigger now. Obviously, Francesca, the tallest player out there right now. Still yet to see a dunk from her, but the night is still young. As they throw a deep pass to Dominique Rodriguez in the backcourt, and here she comes, number 3 in red. Avery Van Sickle working the dribble against Rodriguez. She's come alive in this second half, working around a screen from Yolanda. Hemingway up top against Jada Moore. Hemingway crossover with Jada Moore hounding her, and they call a foul on Jada. It's a 22-point game. Raiders have been playing very well. They're a little stagnant in the last minute of this game so far. Offensively, let's see what they can do. Avery Van Sickle working against Rodriguez, who can shoot it. Yolanda fakes Fran. Get that nasty stuff out of here, Yolanda. Ooh. Jada Moore over to Francesca Belibi in transition. Miss. Offensive, oh my. I mean, did you see that? Another 3 starters on her. Offensive boards it and puts it back. She is amazing. She has entered the 20s. What a play from Francesca Belibi. Wow. Francesca Belibi has done it all this season. Let's see if she can get her free throws to go now. Misses it. Raiders fighting for it. But Lou Pierre gets the board. Lou Pierre not biting for the Raiders. Talk. Hemingway. Deep 3 is up and down. Hemingway, the junior point guard, gets the deep 3 to go. Steph Curry range. So that's going to be the end of the third quarter. 39-18. It's slowed down in that third quarter. But the Raiders played great defense as usual. We're going to take a quick break here on the Raider Sports Network so we can catch our breaths for what should be a very exciting fourth quarter. Sam Stern, Patrick Carlson, stay with us. Welcome back to the Raider Sports Network. My apologies, we were just having a little photo shoot with Patrick and I. Avery Van Sickle over to Sydney Wygand, inside to Fran. Bully balls it, misses it. Sydney Wygand is able to retrieve it, but sends it right to Dominique Rodriguez. Rodriguez with the left. What a finish! Rodriguez with the left as she flexes on him there. One of the most impressive plays of the game. Wow, with the left hand. The move, the spice, and the left-handed finish. Rodriguez. Rodriguez, and one free throw is good. She has gained her rhythm and momentum in this second half. McHugh working up top to Francesca Belibi. Let's see what she can do. Elects to take it all the way. Spin move. Oh, what a move. McHugh working hard. She steps. Oh, McHugh. Wow, she's fun to watch. Oh, wow, the disrespect. Love it. Hemingway over to Dominique Rodriguez. Rodriguez is handling the ball now. She's been phenomenal in the second half, as I mentioned. Over to the other side. That's a three-pointer for Cherokee Trail. First time for Olivia Lee checking in. She's a sophomore. Over to Francesca Belibi. She catches it with one hand, and it's stolen by Hemingway. Keeps the dribble with Francesca Belibi. Oh, my gosh. What a play! Hemingway keeping the dribble as she takes it the distance. She cuts it to 16. They're coming back with 6:41 left to go. Cherokee Trail student section and parent section is hyped. Working the dribble to Sydney Wygand, easy right-handed layup. Great high-low passing by the Raiders. Back to 18. 41-23, 6:25 left to go in the fourth quarter. Hemingway over the top to Rodriguez. She's been flaming hot. Stolen by Francesca. Here she comes in transition. Over the top to Avery Van Sickle. Left-handed layup, off and off. Jada Moore takes it herself, misses it. Francesca Belibi, Connor puts the foul. The McDonald's All-American getting another and one foul. Gosh, you cannot stop her. As I described her in our pregame, she is a human highlight reel to the max. And her and one free throw, just a little short. And you know, I talk about it with Jake Stewart when he broadcasts with me, my great friend. If she can add a consistent free throw, mid-range, and three-point jump, the best in the state of Colorado, and maybe even top 10 in the nation. It's just my opinion. Rodriguez fakes the jumper, switches to the left. Oh, she did not. But she misses, thank heavens. Over the top to Sydney Wygand. Sydney in transition lays it up, and no good, and she's fouled by Hemingway. It's a good foul from Hemingway because she wouldn't have fouled. That would have been a great layup from Sydney Wygand. Sydney having an up and down game in the first half. She couldn't find her jumper, but she never fails to play consistent defense. She's a great defender, and she's an impressive player. First free throw's up and good. Nice shot by Sydney Wygand. Again, she's a senior. She'll be attending West Point Academy next year for women's lacrosse, and she'll be a star over there like she has here at Regis. Rodriguez working the dribble. She's had a couple Sue Bird-esque plays. Hemingway working the dribble against Jada Moore. Can't get anything to go there. Looks over to the corner. Over to a Nayland mid-range. Not even close, and McHugh ends up with it. Takes her time, working the dribble. Look at her. Avery Van Sickle over the top to Sydney. Good idea, but just a little too high. Coach Matty agreeing with me. I can read. I can mouth. I understand mouthing. As Grace Wygand will check in for Avery Van Sickle. And Michelle East will check back in for the Raiders. Michelle East does not play a lot for this Raiders team the last couple years, but when she comes in, she is pretty consistent. She'll help a squad. Rodriguez over to the corner for a three. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Francesca Believi, what a pass from Francesca. Gets the board and an offensive foul. And Francesca Believi's telling them that they were yanking her arm, and that did seem a little interesting to me, but you know, I love it too because she can body anybody on this court. Look at her. She is, as I was thinking when I was doing my stats planning for the game tonight, I was looking, and you know, it's amazing. I really do feel like that if you put Francesca Believi on a boys basketball team, let's say a Highlands Ranch team that's not playing great right now, I'm not going to lie. Their girls team's #1 in the state. Boys, not great. You put a Fran on that boys team, I really do believe that they would be competitors in this state. She is that good. Wow. We're going to take a break here on the Raider Sports Network with exactly 5 minutes left to go. Only a 12-point game, or sorry, 22-point game, thank heavens, 45-23. Hey, Angela Sirwan-Marfo, our great social media head, has been doing social media for us tonight. She's doing an amazing job, as usual. Make sure to tune in and stay tuned. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Raider Sports Network, and RJ Media. Both pages fully functioning tonight, and every sports event and live event that we have here at Regis Jesuit High School. This is Olivia Lee, the sophomore, throwing it into Hemingway. And Hemingway giving Lee an order up top. This is Hemingway working on the right side. She's impressive. Over the top to Rodriguez. She has room to take the jumper. Elects to get it back to Hemingway for a deep three. Short. Fighting for the board is Regis. Grace Wygand ends up with it. Over to her sister Sydney. And that should be good. And it is. Sydney Wygand and Grace Wygand. The Wygand connection happening again. Hemingway working it over the top as Sydney Wygand almost got a steal with Rodriguez working the dribble. Rodriguez equally talented with both hands. And Francesca Believi swats that away. Francesca Believi, and that's Jada Moore. Oh my gosh, she just split through three people. She's cooking. Grace Wygand a three. Yes! Grace Wygand a three after Jada Moore was putting some sauce on that one in the backcourt. What a play, Jada Moore. First starts off with the block, then the sauce, and then the three-pointer. Deep three from Hemingway. Off. Here's Michelle East working in transition. Over to Grace Wygand, great pass. Grace misses, Believi puts, oh my goodness. She just manhandled again, two players. Make it 51-23. 28-point game for the Raiders. Rodriguez taking her time. 3:14 left to go in this second half, fourth quarter. Working the dribble is Rodriguez. She's come alive, but it hasn't been enough to come back yet. Over the top, Rodriguez tries a three. Off, and Francesca boards it. Here she comes. This place wants a dunk, but instead they're going to get a Sydney Wygand layup. Good play by Fran. She'll get it. I just know it. Francesca wants that dunk badly. But instead, Cherokee Trail's going to call a timeout. The Raiders are coming alive in this second half, as they always do. They're a great second half team. This has been exciting basketball by the Raiders as usual, as Coach Maddie giving them the last plays of this game as we're counting down the final 2:40 left in this game. So if you haven't already heard, this weekend is a fun-filled weekend full of Raider sports. tonight was semifinals of wrestling at the Pepsi Center. Big game, or not big game, big competition. Antonio Sandora and Antonio Segura, two of our best wrestlers, are there competing. Good luck to them this weekend. They will also be there tomorrow if you're interested in attending. And the boys basketball team will be playing tomorrow night here at Regis against Highlands Ranch. 1 o'clock here in the Lou Kellogg Stadium. Be there. And rugby will be playing East at Glendale Park. So 2 marquee games as Lou Pierre hits the 3. Here's McHugh working up top with the right. Still yet to go on the board. Working the dribble with the left. Over to Michelle East. Over to Sydney Wygand. Cross court to Avery Van. I can close my eyes and tell you that that just went in. Wow. Avery Van Sickle 3. Michael Manugian. I have to join it with the crowd. Here's Nayland. Back up top to Villegas. Lou Pierre just hit a 3. Cross court to Rodriguez. Deep. No good. And Van Sickle gets the board. For the Raiders, Colleen Mohlberger is checked in as well, getting minutes. She doesn't usually play often. Sydney Wygand drop step in the post, easy. As Francesca Belibi is pumped off of that one. The front court duo is powerful, to say the least. Lou Pierre thought about a 3. Back over to Villegas. Dominique Rodriguez in the middle and gets the layup to go. Great floater by Rodriguez. And it's going to be a timeout for the Raiders as they want to get in their last sub. It's going to be 33 Sarah Mohlberger. So a couple sister duos in this team, Mohlbergers and Wygands. Minute 03 left to go, 58-28. It's been a fun night broadcasting with you guys. Patrick Carlson, Angela Sarawal Marfo, and Jack Mann doing a great job as usual. We have a great crew here at the Raider Sports Network. If you don't already know about us and you're new to listening to us and tuning in, we are a student-run media organization called RJ Media with 3 sectors: Raider Sports, Elevate, and RJ TV. Make sure to tune in on our YouTube pages weekly for our RJ TV weekly episodes with Will Monroe, Caroline Soro, and Kate Phillips. Great always with Philip Postek and Will Cassidy. And the magazine headed up by Leo McCabe and Maxine. We have a great staff here at Regis Jesuit and definitely look into the great work that we do. Back with you, McHugh, working up top. Working up against Villegas. And that's a foul against Cherokee Trail. That's Adriana Lee getting called for the foul. Checking in for the first time tonight. She's a JV player who's playing up varsity with Cherokee Trail. And Maddie McHugh's going to go to the line. Let's see if she can get on the board tonight. First free throw's up and pure. That's one thing that she can do really well. She is a spot-up shooter and just a shooter in general. They're going to put all 4 of the Raiders except for McHugh in the backcourt to stop any kind of fast break opportunity. They're going to leave Sydney Wygand in there too as a lead and captain presence. Lou Pierre in transition. Deep 3 from Collins. Tries to bank it, no good. Villegas, right-handed Kareem hook is no good. Sydney Wygand's coming from the backcourt. Great facilitating as Mohlberger gets a jump shot, short. And here comes Lou Pierre. Lou Pierre with the left, misses it a little too hard, and Mohlberger snags the board. Here comes Michelle East over to McHugh. Look how fast she is. Mohlberger fighting for it down low. And she's going to get called for the foul. Yes, she gets called for the foul against Collins. So the Mohlberger sisters trying to get into the mix here. Mia Collins, their starting shooting guard, averaging 7 points per game. She's not really been a scoring threat this season. As her first three free throws up and no good, Mulberger. Her third board already. Oh, McHugh is on a dribbling expedition right now. Get Kyrie on the phone. McHugh working against Lou Pierre. She's just having fun with it. And that is game over. Your Regis Jesuit Raiders are moving on to the next round. 59-28. It's been my pleasure broadcasting with you tonight. Francesca Bellibi, 26 points and 11 boards. Avery Van Sickle, an easy 15 points. For Patrick Carlson, Jack Mann, 8. Angela Serwa-Marfo. My name's Sam Stern. Thank you for tuning in, and you have a wonderful and phenomenal evening and weekend. See you later.